All right, it's here for Yamamunyina Kwaba once again about Pinaxtv. So, for the past few days, I think since yesterday, past 24, 48 hours, you say Ghana and Togo. Both of these countries are trending on the international stage. Inti Ghana ni na wamanonia. You realize that this news may have popped up in your feed, and I said on your network, your local network. I'm talking about either CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, or what so have you. Now, is because of a current legal battle Ghana as a whole we are having with Togo. Before you even get further though, since Mahama came to power, I've been saying this, Ghana, we need to beef up our security because the country as around us, and the country we border with them, they don't see us as partners, they don't see us as friends, they don't see us as allies, they see us as adversaries. Ghana has to beef up itself in terms of security and niema because these people one day pounce on us. That is why all the countries around us, there's an incessant coup d'etat, and now we see people. Okay, Burkina Faso for terrorist attack now Ghana and Omukunkum and just as the problem we are having with Burkina Faso at the north, Ghana is now having an issue again at our eastern border. At our eastern border with Togo. Now it's here for breaking it down, and this is the time His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he needs to activate any military. In fact, Ghana, the whole Ghana with a population of 35 million, a military 18,000 cedis. Now some kwasia same way said you yatsna why and no enama and Togo. FLA say they can do what they want and they can take whatever they want from Ghana. So this whole issue, it stems from a year. Ghana's battle with Togo on the Gulf of Guinea. On the Gulf of Guinea, Ghana, Gulf of Guinea, we border no issue ni nyina efi ho. Na tiefo me no before meba hase ababe kan sem na tese minim de me ye de me ba be kan. Na tiefo ye de ade we two screens no so a e be breaking no bit by bit. But for those of you who know what the fight is against, Ghana's president Togo. Togo's president, on the far right of the screens, and Ghana's president. These two presidents are now facing off. I'm in Tokana. Sebio, dia court ye wini no. Sisi ani anshini ya ebedani popo. Now the whole issue is stemming from C dispute. See the two screens, two screens no so. This is baby Ghana. Ni Togo we a ponoso. Adenya. There are particular places pono so as pono Ghana say there Togo for say omo there and akwa danin tokwan na oil in semen na Ghana nya keep 3 point Togo for say baby e 2 oil na omo there inte ye akasa bebre ni ema ni kopie court ama Ghana ye wini case no ye wini case na ye say maye ntua any compensation ema Togo no Togo again is now interfering with us, threatening us with their navy, and almost soldiers somewhere. So now, let us break this down. Let's put this particular thing on the screens. And this particular graph I create here with screens. Where Ghana Togo Maritime dispute, as you see, according the International Tribunal for Law of the Sea. Mind you, Togo and Ghana. Now Togo does not want to actually accept the outcome of case Ghana. So now Ghana has to take this to the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. ITLOS. Now for this particular graph can see exactly what is really going on now. Screens you see two countries here, okay? You see Ghana and then you see Togo, okay? But then down our border now, our southern border now, okay? Utimus a line be a check. Your friend is saying, the line be at ho. I just say, baby a line at no, sa particular line, no, baby a Ghana, from the far left, and now a year as a baby as a Yacho Jubilee 10, and no, and a baby a Ghana for you claim say a maritime boundary. Okay, that is it. I wanna Ghana ye claim say maritime boundary. Remember, so all of these things, Bibi a contesting now, all of them is on the Gulf of Guinea. No problem. Now, Osha a year, baby, a year Togo force air contest here. Shadieni yo, she baby a Ghana, your map no, okay? Neshe baby a Togo force, so I think so we need to make this a bit smaller. Now, move a tea for bit me, a year, baby a year can't the whole thing accept. So, Osha, baby a say a year contested maritime area, no, and I say yeah no into show and I say green and a bit of red no aha into whole no Togo say omudie and Ghana force in sema year can say sa particular stretch is just beneath us into a year dear into baby I red now I wish there was arrow but then ocean screen so I say contested maritime area into baby I say red no I friend equidistant line no a ho and Ghana you need Togo yeah kun ewo ho party as so check graph now everything clearly shows in here now yeah the graph no about the other side so we say Ghana Togo now check Gulf of Guinea now baby you need a year Togo for yeah kun ho no and no and I say red that you did the whole thing as circle. Let's make this a bit bigger for you to see exactly what we are talking about and I'll explain it in detail but I want us to see a graph near what is really going on. Baby I say yeah, box B as a dot box B and as a dash box a ho and a gun you need to go yeah because Togo for say a yomo dear add na Ghana yes you oil na ye tunya de adin a yomo share so and a Ghana for so yes share so what must say intensity no akwa kopi the International Tribunal for Law of the Sea ITLOS. Now what is this whole case about? Case we no what is it about? Me unsa man for started commenting on our live see said that is our maritime. It's true. Sabi bia Togo forecast yomo dia sisi ano ya hwe ni betima danen tokwa both military and both navies of both countries meeting the sea no Ghana there. So what is the whole issue about? The whole issue actually stems from when Ghana discover oil first. Okay, Obeka I say keep 3 points and other pointer. I think some few years ago, somewhere in I think it's 2008 or so, Ghana discover oil no a ho and a Togo for a car say baby sa oil na Ghana you see a discover no that particular place no ayomudie. Remember I said all of these places no offshore which means any Ghana SAS so direct but insuo na e try ehunhia no yes so ye and a Togo force so ewo mo hye baby a mo contest Jubilee and 10 that is Trinebua and Yira in Tome a friend 10 any Jubilee gold Jubilee offshore and a gold fields oil fields ye two oil near the ade wo now Togo omo argument no so simple omo part say Ghana baby ani ye two oil no baby ani ye drilling no sa area no Togo for there 2 Togo for Emma Ghana warning said we should stop drilling or doing any oil activities in that particular area because as baby yeah no in as much as they've claimed say your mudi sema Ghana yes you will see be and both countries will have to go and sit down and hash it out because as at that time not Togo for say or more evidence again Togo even went on further to say Ghana should pay them compensation okay for drilling oil. Inti sa bibia na ye tu oil ni ade na Togo for air parties eyomo de e na isi Ghana ye claim say eyomo de sa Jubilee 10 ho no eyomo de e na isi Ghana ye claim say ye de a ye tu oil inti ye tu oil no na asem na akwa kopie kwade enyan kan wie ya oil na ye tu no ene sika ye nya ni nyina no e wo se e ma Togo for compensation na ye san so returning the shore back to Togo na eno na Ghana for argue say sa maritime boundary na Togo forecast sa baby a Togo forecast yomude enyomude because Ghana we are bound by the maritime boundary which for almost 100 years we've accepted. You draw a map no between Ghana and Togo no ya ti asese Togo yes nie Ghana so musie. So at the end of the day, no, we don't understand why you oil yankasa yes so all of a sudden Togo forces say so Ghana should stop drilling oil at these locations. Again, Ghana so eka say baby omo yesa oil operations no what they term as their rightful territory. And no in some ekopie courts. Eme kopie court on the International Tribunal for Law of the Sea in 2017 no. Omo release the maritime boundary Bruni Beka said the equidistance line. That's the equidistance line. Or someone where geography people say it's a middle line between both coasts. Okay, in Ghana, you have a boundary by land, and you have a boundary by sea, and equidistance. And a court so Edibe to just say, baby, a Ghana for your drilling a young Kasaya, which means say we are following the right rules. Boundary now, and I said maritime borders, and as that particular waters a Ghana for your dear. Again. Most of the disputed oil fields, not Togo for a castle your modier, almost 90% of them a Ghana for dear, so you should retain it. And in kitting be a ruling kitting be a could do Togo for her. So Ghana won the case. Okay, now if Ghana has lost that case in 2017, what it would have meant was that we will have to have paid Togo almost $30 billion or $10 billion, which is even 50% of the entire GDP of Ghana. Again, also no Ghana your oil ne niema ye tuno, which means a bit easy. Okay, but your core you win is our case are strengthening Ghana's legal position in the international maritime law, and I also a certain example because beginning some no question no if you can't sit down and hash these things out between Ghana and Togo, said you a military and a navy no or meet media nice a Ghana and Togo no you war with that, and there's no way Togo can defeat Ghana in war. We are better than them in everything. Listen and listen well. We are better than Togo in everything. You better also. Now Togo again has gone back and saying say SAR 2017 ruling by the International Tribunal for Law of the Sea, settled the maritime dispute between Ghana and Togo, and also Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. No, SAR case Sankasa no sebio technically and moreover to back now try some back and sem bilaterally yebekasa both ends not just at the end of the day yakasa okay yakokoti wini yentina as neighbors near sort out the issue ye buy and talk spilled and no and amino kase kasa no escalate amino kase sisiano asanso escalate magana part sisiano Togo for part be a Ghana for your drilling and still a yomo there they want to take it by force. So Ghana is taking the first steps to go back to the court to strengthen its decision, and I say the court's ruling, if that one fails, then I think the Ghana Army and the Navy Ghana Maritime, we have to teach Togo a lesson. We have to teach Togo a lesson if this time around it fails. Now, let us put this particular thing here on the screens for you to know exactly what we are talking about. So, this is exactly where one a video of the offshore baby I say you see a Togo force a yomodie any adiade. But then a fellas of Osukwache, okay, or the Simbi Ebetuja, or no any case see a Ghana, ye call back to a year court, ye call back to a year court again. Tusha has say, I'll say press statement, and this is coming from a year fellas of Osukwache, or not in the same way, Ebetuja. Also, the government of Ghana has served the government of Togo with notice of its decision that the maritime boundary between Ghana and Togo be determined by recourse to international arbitration under the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea. This follows attempts at negotiating boundaries which have gone on for the past 8 years but have not resulted in an agreed outcome. Ghana has taken steps in order to avoid escalation of incidents that have created tensions between some of our institutions and to promote an amicable resolution, thereby contributing to the continued good relations between the two countries. And this was signed by Felix Osukwache, Ono and the President Communications. In some medical PMO International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea, the rule for Ghana and Sisiano Togo for some months here. Emma Sisiano, we are learning say case call back to a year, baby a friend a year, the international arbitration under the United Nations Conventions of Law, UNCLOS. That is the whole issue. And Sisia, the big question among for ABC and say, why the hell is Togo doing this? At the end of the whole issue is that when you say Ghana, you discover oil, no, you're going to many agreements. Ebi say, you be loni sa particular offshore fields on amabro for they bring their machines, they do all the manufacturing, and after some years, I think 10 years or so, no, about be Ghana for I think 10 or 20 years about be Ghana for then now you start to produce your own oil, will be exporting it, and at the end of the day, no, we'll be getting money from it. Sana Dubai for Saudi Arabia, at the end of the day, says Kano Menyano, or Modi Budu Mukrono. That is exactly what Ghana is aiming. Into the amount for now, or my machines, any other database see one more year. Into after some time, no, or two or more oil, no, so we are, or Jama and Ghana will take over because to build that thing on the sea, no, so Unima. It costs around almost the last time I'm checking here, now almost $900 billion. Honestly, Ghana, your GDP, our entire gross domestic product is somewhere around $80 billion. So calculate, I was here spending almost $900 billion on the sea. It means it's Ghana. You turn your crown, you hurry your crown, it's the same back crown, and so. So, the amount of form where side at the end of the day, you know, Yankasa or Mutu, you meet me to na ababe di Ghana for. Yatia se be Togo who say no. Side win a good opportunity because omo share so no, they have not discovered oil. Baby a Ghana ya discover oil no. All of a sudden Togo for so your modie. Inti no sa tete Lord na ne ye yusua. Obi ati se mi share so nie. Mi share so nie no. Togo for say it doesn't apply today and in this particular generation because our colonial masters or so and no draw sa line no be en pepe be a Ghana ye to oil no e Togo for there e for ensem ni nyina enie ama sisia no utie nsem afele sofosu kwache odi tudwa no patche se akosoa ama sisia no there's tensions between the institutions I can want some navy okay navy no ena you know, so maritime, so the two military of both countries so no around they meet, you know, they clash, but as a yente, a bit escalate because still Togo air pass be a Ghana for you to sa oil no ayomodie. Inti their court am I wini, but still now Togo for say omontiasie. Inti for that is the whole issue now. Minu kasi akwa kupie quarter minu kasi foreign yasingbi ono ene the Togo president we dia sa I think say on the fourth term fourth term he's 58 years old okay foreign yasingbi na papa a president prime minister or so and waba be dia minu kasi no or say on tiasie but my personal take on this something I me read these certain comments and say Ghana is playing the softball Oko Middle East now Israel, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, almost countries be Middle East, but Israel, Iran, even though Iran has a landmass 10 times bigger than Israel to me bomb Iran. Bibi Koswa, Israel to me bomb the ISIS for the Houthis and the Obombi. That is because Israel who said people don't like to talk. People don't like to hash out this issue. People like action. So if Ghana they be we a peaceful nation and a democratic nation to me personally, my view on this is that you better not one day a small country like Togo can think so a bit bending the rules to their favor. And they'll start fooling and teaching Ghana a lesson. That is why currently Ghana, there's issue at the top of our border. That's why currently Ghana, we are now facing issues at the sea level, our southern border with Togo. Can you imagine? Togo, way. Massa. So, I don't know, issues in the ABB, but then it's high time Ghana, we beef up our military because these Francophone nations, they have been hostile to us. And I think that sometimes you need to show a bit of mighty force. Beef up the military. Into military Ghana, when you say 18,000, let's up it to somewhere 80,000. Yankwaji the F-35s US for the bombing Iran. A bit more Toby. Toby Bray. Try equip your soldiers near military. At the end of the day, all the countries around us will know say Ghana the endure mwagro. Because some funye course you Ghana for tomato solace and can see na Ghana ya sending F-35. Ya ko bombe sa extremist or more Ghana border ho be yete ho e no kudu ta black akwa ho ofuture pictures. Ofuture pictures. So that is the issue. Now, I mean taking some few comments near to us. So Crystal said, stop telling lies. Always loyal, said Lane. And Jude Maduka said, Ghana's boundary. And always royal said, the maritime boundary is under our map, which is true. And always loyal said, we won the case in court. So Togo, why come to demand our maritime boundary? Again, now the same always royal say, we will not release our maritime boundary to Togo. And again, Jude Maduka said, Ghana won the case in the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. Yes, we won the case, but Togo forced someone here. Foreign thing they said on here. So now the case is going back to what? Court again. This time around, I think under UN section or Moshe Epo, they resolve issues of the sea. This is issues the air core. It is so. So issue are air course no. Personally, I would like to get your opinion. What do you think about this? Do you think Ghana for yen jemu? Because Togo to me, Togo believes they can intimidate us on hey. Because Ghana they say a cool country. Ghana they impede into hey sana unsa Takashi francophone for Takashi no. Na Ghana ye jemu amai e jemu amomo. It's be bia ye mining oil near the Togo because Togo for no many sweats. It will not happen in this particular country. And that is why, to me, enough of going to court. We need to beef up our security because a small country like Togo, on population ain't do 5 million or say 10 million. Their military can be rubbing shoulders with us on Ghana's navy. Ewa eponoso. Claiming say, be a Ghana for drill oil no eyomodie. Well, I'm not the president of this country, but then I think some action needs to really go on. So that is the issue. It's here for me no cases here no air course. Now, your brand updates be some few days ago. Say the Chief Justice for Bonnie or the Nsembi Ababe to just a petition will receive here to take these two people off. I'm talking about a year to sack and a petition to remove the EC boss Jen Mensah and also petition to remove a year OSP Kisie Jabeno. Petition for Mama, a Mahama, any Mama, a forward man on making a decision. Now, the head and tail of all of this was that Chief Justice Oshemono, OSP Kisie Jabi, onye bibi a chesi yino. Oshemono, a year, me no kase EC boss Jen Mensah, onye bibi a wasi yino. And untinyi yomo. Now, me no kase we've intercepted a letter. We are learning say a leaked. This letter leaked. And this letter is a letter if we are learning say it was directed to office of the presidency. As our office of the presidency, the reason why Chief Justice refused to honor the sacking of OSP Kisie Jabin and also EC boss Jen Mensah. Let's put this on the screens. It will show the whole screens also. I'll say petition removal of the chairperson and deputy commissioner of the Electoral Commission. Into here, they are giving us an update as to why this happened. I'll say, I have the instructions of His Excellency the President, to convey to you actions taken on your petition dated the 22nd of April 2025 on the above matter. It's one moment the petition no coin. And this letter I the come any leak here. You read it. 2. In accordance with Article 146 Clause 3 of the 1992 Constitution, His Excellency of the President duly referred the petition to the Lordship Justice for Bonnie, the Chief Justice of Ghana. That is on the 25th of November 2025 to determine whether the petition discloses a prima facie. So prima facie ye part say in sema ne part say ye dina so ne dia sake OSP ene EC boss because o me di boni purportedly no aboni beka say de omo ye na say engina so ho e say o me di boni bit masake o mba say no omo hwemu no o me nye engina so bia ye nto aso ha o say 3 or say by the letter dated 26th January 2026, the Chief Justice informed His Excellency the President that no prima facie case had been established by the petition to warrant any further investigation. The Chief Justice letter states as follows. Now they are telling us say based on investigation, Chief Justice His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say boni bie ni wa OSP Kisie Jabin any EC boss Jen Mensah or my letter we not talk about president. I say while the allegations raise serious constitutional and administrative questions, they do not on their face meet the threshold required for a prima facie determination of stated misbehavior or incompetence warranting that a committee be set to inquire into the petition. The petition largely rests on conclusions of unlawfulness and bad faith without establishing a preliminary level clear facts demonstrating international wrongdoings or manifest inability to perform the constitutional functions, even if the commission's actions or inactions are assumed to be erroneous, controversial, or suboptimal. Such shortcomings do not automatically translate into stated misbehavior or incompetence within the constitutional sense. Your part say, even though some of the questions are yanum for erasing, so EC boss, send or ABC no anye ye, send OSP boss, kisiye jabe, send or ABC no anye ye, or musu binding crophobia or employ, as they are using the office to enrich themselves. Part say, when dia obeti maka say misbehavior, I say obi ewa abemwa sebio on man hoso and I say oye bibia. I say the behavior it doesn't suit a public official in the eyes of Ghanaians and in the eyes of Obia Osheno. But then that doesn't mean say ejuma no mo ye no bumbra. So based on this, constitution be by the law, they don't deserve to be sacked. Which means say omunye boni bia per the constitution bit me your mefi. So in some way a Chief Justice or the Command Excellency John Dramani Mahama ultimately one more the petition the choir the way echo more. Into share the was in conclusion. The allegations disclose disputes over constitutional interpretation, administrative judgment, and institutional response to complex transitional agreements rather than conduct so grave, personal, and culpable as to justify a prima facie determination of their removal proceedings. So under Article 146 Clause 3, therefore, there is no basis to activate a constitutional machinery for a full inquiry and petition fail at the prima facie stage. Accordingly, I find no prima facie case has been established against the chairperson and deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission by the petitioner. So, the head and tail of all of this issue is that chairperson, EC boss, or no nabeja for yeso mundi boni bia. Yoma yeno, obi bekas akwese Mahama, yesi Mahama wankase ye wo UN, ana Mahama, sino ubu o mine wanye ni ye, and into obi se ye ne di debi. That is the president's conduct. But constitutionally, you come by the books, president and this is exactly what has come out. I mean, Obit Makasa a big blow to one more na omu push say by now Anke was say the people involved, sorry, I can say these people involved talking about the EC boss Jen Mensah and subsequently even sack a person like the OSP Kisiye Jabi Aminuka say Ubia say Onkwana. So most people have petitions say Onko. So therefore, this is the issue so we will be very much happy to get your views on this particular issue. What do you think about it? Do you think say petition about EC boss Jen Mensah only Kisiye Jabi no. Do you think say right thing? The good news though is that I think somewhere 2030 EC boss Jen Mensah will be fair deals because based on the constitutional review committee got you'll be EC boss for life. 10 years per also official. Moving retirement aging for EC boss, you're in 65 years. So she won't be there for long because of how the constitution have been amended. But then what do you think about all of these issues are air course? So we'll be very much happy to get your view based on all of these things are air course. In regards with the current petitioner, Supreme Court, and also the Chief Justice Omode Ababe Tuja.